Um, we are, let's see, it's just about to, right? Okay. Okay, it is Monday, October 5th, 2020 at 2 p.m. And I call this meeting of the Wellfleet Select Board to order. First on the agenda is announcements, open session, and public comments. Public comments must be brief. The board will not deliberate or vote on any matter raised solely during announcements and public comments. Do I have any?
Courtney. Hi, it's Helen. Mike.
Helen, go ahead.
Yeah, a friendly reminder to everybody that may be listening or maybe listening to the audio or looking at the video later. With regard to some queries about why we often usually don't allow audience participation at the discretion of the chair, it's because this is the only place that we can, the five of us can talk about things together legally. And sometimes time is of the essence, and some of our meetings go on for 4 hours. And I just want to remind everybody that you can write to the select board, and in my case, you can even call me. So that's it. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
I'm not seeing any, Mike.
Okay. On to the first order on the agenda. Whoops. And that is the SCADA system upgrade contract.
Calendar invite, or it's all in the hang on.
Put ourselves on mute.
Sorry, everybody. Yeah, the first item is the SCADA system upgrade. So,
Yep, SCADA system upgrade contract approval for Cape Water Resources. Anyone want to comment on this?
Mike Travato's going to say something.
Go ahead, Mike.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Yeah, this is the SCADA system is a control system for the public water supply. This system is in need of an upgrade, and we have put this out to bid to do the upgrade, and the Cape Water Resources was the winning bidder on this. So this contract is for those services.
Any questions from the board?
Courtney. Hi,
Go ahead,
Mike.
Helen. Go ahead,
Hi.
Helen.
Hi. I did show up at this meeting because, of course, I'm interested in anything to do with the water system and have been since the, early 90s. The $52,500 for this needed work comes out of what we appropriated at town meeting. That's my first question, probably to Mike Travato.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I meant to also mention that this is actually being paid for through our Housing Choice Grant. We received a Housing Choice Grant for $100,000, and this portion of this is coming out of that grant.
Okay. So my next question is, who is the designee for the pre-construction conference, and later on for, who's going to be the designee from the town for those decisions that get made after you decide on who's going to be representing the town on this in the pre-construction conference. And during that time, at that stage, this is all before anything happens, somebody is appointed by the town. I remember this from when we did the first extension back in the early 2000s. And then I read the contract. So who is going to be our designee? And I hope that whoever that person is, that they are accompanied by, somebody from the water commissioners, obviously, and somebody from Whitewater and so forth. Has that been discussed yet, or is that what they're going to do at the water commissioners meeting tomorrow?
No, the original work to put together the design specifications for this project was done by our consultant, Environmental Partners. They're the ones that did all the formal bidding process for this. And speaking with Jim Hood, my understanding is that Whitewater is going to oversee this end of it. So, just,
Okay, and one more question, and thank you, Mike, for letting me clarify what I couldn't understand from the contract. The contract itself was put together by Environmental Partners.
the contract was drafted by Environmental Partners and was vetted through our department. To administration.
And council took a look at it.
Council did look at it.
Through you, well, I guess Maria isn't here, but did town council take a look at it?
I'm trying to recall, and as I believe council did look at this particular document. We don't send everyone to council, but this one may have gone. I'm trying to recall.
No.
Now. I can go back and check.
Well, it looks normal to me, so thank you.
Can I?
Go ahead, Ryan. Yep.
So this isn't going to cost the town anything to install with the grant, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And what additional capabilities does the upgrade provide?
I don't have the technical answer to that, Ryan. I'm sorry. I didn't. Probably should have asked Jim to be on this call as well, or even our environmental partners. Didn't realize the questions would get that technical for this, but we certainly can follow up supplementary to you on any questions you might have that I cannot answer this afternoon on this. My understanding is that it's really just upgrading all of the existing controls at the various spots where we currently have the SCADA controls. The system right now is housed at the DPW, and we're going to be moving it over to the police building, which is more secure in a lot of ways. Mostly, we also keep our IT equipment now over there because it's a better facility for this kind of equipment.
Okay. And then does anything currently look at what the groundwater level is?
Again, a question I can't answer for you on is I believe this just monitors the water that's in the system itself.
Yeah, I've worked with SCADA systems before, and that's not something that I ever remember system having.
Okay.
That wouldn't be a normal SCADA system operation, I don't think.
Yeah, Mike DeVasto, can I answer to it?
Yes, Helen, go ahead.
So one of the most important things that our SCADA system, or at least the one that we've been using, does is that Whitewater monitors remotely, they're remote terminal units, and Whitewater monitors remotely what's going on. And for example, the leak that we had a while back, that's the kind of thing that whoever we hire, and right now it's Whitewater, to look at it all the time. I asked the former person who came from Whitewater to us, as Justina knows, Mr. Maher. I said, well, how often do you look at what's coming out of Wellfleet, the data? And he said, it's on 24/7. Now, he may not be contracted to be looking at it 24/7, but that's what he says. So that's one of the most important things about it. And I have some other questions, but I'm not going to gum up this meeting with them. I can ask them at the Water Commissioners meeting if there's time.
Let's just make sure that we're on this contract and not off topic. So if it's not related to the
No.
contract, then we don't need to.
Well, Ryan asked about what SCADA systems do, and there's you can program them to do things. You can control them, from remote locations, and they're pretty essential now for modern water systems. And there are two ways to know what the groundwater is doing, but Maria was spot on. This is not part of it. Thank you.
Yep. Justina?
Yeah, I agree with Helen. Ryan asked a good question, but that's not the scope of the software and the system, and parts of the system are dated. And so this is a good opportunity for Wellfleet to take advantage of a grant and get some better system technology. I think that it's a fairly straightforward contract. And as Ryan said, it doesn't cost the town anything. So I know from my time on the system, we're working with some outdated technology of various sorts. So anytime we can update that, such as signing this contract, it's a good thing. So I urge my fellow board members to move forward and sign it. EPG did a very thorough job with the contract. They're a very trusted engineering partner. And I think Mike's done a great job with Jim Hood and on this contract. It's a nice piece of work, and I think we should sign it and get it done.
Okay. Anyone else from the board?
I don't see anyone.
Okay.
Justina, did you want to make the motion?
I don't have it in front of me. Ryan, would you mind doing it?
Okay. I move to approve the contract with Cape Water Resources for the SCADA system upgrade and authorize the town administrator to sign it.
Helen,
a second? Okay, roll call vote.
Helen, aye.
Janet's muted.
1 second.
I think she's trying to say yes.
Yes.
There you go.
Oh.
Okay. Yes.
We could go to sign language,
Lip
Well,
reading.
Ryan, aye.
Justine, aye.
Michael, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay, and
Thank you.
next on the agenda is dredging contract approval for GEI.
Yep, I can address this one as well.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, this is a contract with GEI Consultants to perform services on behalf of us for the dredging in Wellfleet Harbor. It's 5 tasks involved in this project, totaling $56,000. It's the preliminary design, final design, bid phase services, construction support services, and construction surveys to be performed as part of the initial phase of the dredging work that we're anticipating doing this fall. As so-called piggyback work, dredging that will be done after the Army Corps of Engineers is done with their phase 1 this fall.
Okay, anything from the board? Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, just something really quick for anybody that reads the packet. The desired action for this agenda item isn't correct.
That's just a formality,
Yeah.
Ryan. It's just there for
So
you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's covered
Just-
and it's good. That's all I
Thanks.
was gonna say, is that,
Appreciate it.
that's it.
So I move to approve the contract with GEI for dredging and authorize the town administrator to sign it.
Helen, second.
Okay, all in favor, roll call vote.
Helen, I.
Janet, I.
Justina, I.
Ryan, I.
Michael, aye. Motion carries 5-0. Okay,
Thank you.
and now we just have a motion to adjourn, right?
Before we adjourn, I'm double checking with Mike Travato and Maria Broadbent that from here on you take the contract and, well, Maria signs it, but you give it to GEI and all that ASAP. You know all that stuff, don't you, Mike?
Yep, I will walk this over to Maria's office for signature.
Okay, good.
And, we will then send it off to GEI for their execution.
Well, so once again, congratulations to everybody who's worked on dredging. It's such a pleasant, exciting sight to see that big piece of equipment out there.
And I have to say, if you haven't gone out there at night,
Ooh,
check it out. It's pretty cool. I was out there Friday night. You know, I had dinner at the bookstore and walked over to the beach there, and it's quite a sight to see in the dark, to see that big operation, you know, out there in the water. It's like looking at a huge factory or something.
yeah.
It's
Cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, Mike.
Yep.
So I want to give a shout out to Janet Reinhart for going to all those dredging meetings. Thank you so much for sticking with it all these years.
As you would say, Helen, I found it very sexy, especially being the only woman on the board. On the committee.
Yeah,
I'm not on the committee.
Yeah,
wanna
no, I know,
second that
but
shout out.
yeah, it was really good that one of us was there. And Maria, you know, to make an art movie reference, yeah, it looks amazing at night. It looks like a Fellini movie, you know, that Italian art film director. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The last time it looked so good down there was when we used to have carnivals and Ferris wheels.
Yeah, it was a full moon and a huge dredging project. Nothing's better than that.
Looks like we have Fred with his hand up from the audience.
Yeah, hi. How's everybody today? But I don't want to be the thing that stops you from adjourning. I just have a question.
Sure.
And I apologize for my ignorance here. Is this contract with GEI the contract to get the inner harbor dredged after the feds finish what they're doing? Is this what the $7.5 million was appropriated for and so on?
This is the beginning of it. I'll let Joe Aberdale wants to address it though in more detail. If you
So part B of that question would be, does the money we've appropriated cover the cost of this, or are we waiting on the state to pony up some of this, or has that actually already been adjudicated?
Good afternoon. The money has, for the piggyback dredging, it covers a limited area around the L Pier, fuel dock, and in front of the launching ramp. That's all part of Area 1, the overall greater area all the way around the pier to the slips. And money for the piggyback dredging is already allocated at town meeting, part of that $7.5 million fund. The contractor who is presently doing the channel anticipates, with decent weather, that they will finish by the end of November. At that time, provided the bidding process is done and awarded, dredging of that piggyback area can begin. And that will put us ahead a bit of the job for a year from now to complete Area 1. Does that answer your questions, Fred?
I think so. So we still have to go to the state and get some more money to finish the whole job. Is that correct?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
But yeah, that answers my question. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like we had jumped so far ahead, and I said, wait a second. Last I heard, we still had to go to the state. So, okay.
Well, the
thanks.
channel dredging is going to come in to the harbor and to the marina, and will stop at the federal anchorage right after the L Pier.
Good, thank you.
And then a year from now, we'll pick it up from there and go all the way around the pier. That will complete Area 1. By doing the piggyback soon, we hope, by the L Pier and fuel dock and launching ramp, we're a bit ahead of next year's project.
Is the thinking then, I'm sorry, one last thing. Is the thinking then, by being ahead, we will be more favorably viewed by the state when we ask them for some of the funds we need to finish?
I think that's very positive. They will see, the state will see that we took the initiative to go ahead and to do as much as possible with our money.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Mike, it's Helen.
Yep.
Question.
Helen, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, revealing my ignorance. So, okay, so the 7 million wasn't enough to completely finish it. Is that what I just gathered, Fred?
The 7.5 million figure was arrived. Shall I go ahead?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
The 7.5 million figure was arrived at about 3 years ago, when at that time, the entire project of the Inner Harbor was projected to be 15 million. So that's where that figure came from. Because the silt, the mayonnaise, has continued to flow in over the last 3 or 4 years, that figure could be somewhat higher. That can't be determined until right before, the project begins, to see how much new material has come in.
But it isn't a larger area.
The area is the same.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else before we adjourn?
Wait, we have to, so I move to approve the contract. Did we do this yet?
We already approved it.
Okay, all right, I'm dazed. Okay,
Yeah, no, we just have to need a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
second,
Second.
Okay, roll call vote.
Helen, I.
Janet, I.
Tina, aye.
Ryan, aye.
Michael, aye. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you all
Michael.
for the special
Take care,
meeting.
everybody.
Bye-bye.